So we have a scarce resource question right here, and it says that we are selling two types of drugs. These are directed towards students on campus. I guess pharmacy company or one of the big pharma companies has decided to try and market these drugs, and one is called I should use orange. One is called Rehydrate, which is a drug targeted towards curing people's hangovers so that they can go to class the next day or a test or something and be productive the next day after a big night of partying or something. And it sells at $66 with a variable cost of $50. Secondly, we have another drug called StudyMax, which is, I guess, a form of Ritalin or some type of stimulant drug, which sells at $100 and $70 to keep students focused and attentive during class. And yeah, Big Pharma wants to make money off of these drugs, so they are marketing to the students. And we have a few questions. We have to decide what the contribution and contribution margin ratio are, and then given 20,000 machine hours, which is a limiting factor, because there's a scarce amount of machine hours, which is 20,000, which product should we essentially sell? Because we can sell 2 Rehydrate for every one of StudyMax. And finally, we will decide which one we'll choose. So, let's get into it. Let me just close that one layer. Okay, so the contribution margin, let me just select my color. The sales price of Rehydrate is $66, while the variable cost is $50, which gives us a contribution margin of $16. The second product is called StudyMax, which sells at $100. Its cost is $70, and it is essentially a $30 contribution margin. Now, to get the ratio, you just do 16 divided by 66, which is just the contribution margin divided by the selling price, which is, or I should say 16 divided by 66 is 0.24 rounded down, which means that for every $1 of sales generated, we're going to collect 24 cents of contribution margin. Now the contribution margin ratio on StudyMax is 30 divided by 100, which is the same way we came up with this, and that is 0.30, or 30 cents of contribution margin is being collected for every $1 of sales generated. That should make sense. Next, we have 20,000 machine hours. Okay, so if we produce 2 products of the Rehydrate over the 1 product of StudyMax, that means we're going to be producing, well, let's say 2 products in an hour and 1 product an hour, which means we'll have 40,000 products of the Rehydrate, and we'll have 20,000 of the StudyMax. So, let's figure out how much total contribution margin each product will generate. So for the first one, it's 40,000 products times $16 of contribution margin each, which is $640,000 of contribution margin. The second one is 30 times 20,000, which is 600,000. We'll need the calculator for that. And since this has a greater contribution margin, we are going to go with Rehydrate. And that is also because it also generates a greater contribution margin per unit of the limiting factor, which is machine hours. Because if you see, every 1 hour we can produce 2 units of Rehydrate and 1 unit of StudyMax. So 2 units times $16 of the contribution margin is we can produce $32 of contribution margin every hour of the Rehydrate. And in 1 hour of the study max, we can only produce 1 unit, so 1 times $30, which is for every product, is we can only produce $30 of contribution margin from the study max, so obviously we will go with rehydrates as our product. Alright? Okay, I'll add this to the question and answer video section. See you guys in the next one.